Hello everybody, my name is Carole. This is my channel So Carole and I'm doing a quick Lutteloh video today. I'm wearing the Lutteloh top I made, and if you watch my Friday sews you will have had a glimpse of it already. If I explain the fabric I received back in April from Beyond the Pink Door, it was a sew subscription box. And it's a viscose chalet, but it had a kind of gold lurex in it. So I saved it until this time of year, the Christmas time of year. And I really wanted to make a blouse out of it. I went through my Lutteloh supplements, and this blouse was made using this supplement, number 315. And I did, pages have fallen out, I don't know why, this view here, which is number 143. So that's a similar one as well, but it's just got a different sleeve. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you step by step sort of how I made it up. I will put that at the end of the video, so if you're well versed on doing Lutteloh and kind of working out your own patterns, you don't have to sit through that. But I'll just chat roughly now about it and how I felt, and if you watch to the end then you will see how I kind of all pieced it together and sewed it all up eventually, and any troubles I came along the way. So this piece here, if I actually might as well pull it out now. This blouse I really fell in love with because of that front pleat there and the ballooning sleeves that weren't too bad. Now, I am pleased with the pattern. I used my upper bust measurements for the shoulders and the top here because I'm quite narrow shouldered, and I used my full bust measurement for that part. The only thing I would say is that it was very boxy and very wide, which you can probably see on that view anyway. So I ended up having to bring in an inch either side just so it didn't balloon out and be so square. Now, I do love this pattern, but I don't think it looks very good in this fabric. I think because it's got so much going on, you can't see the pleat, and it's a shame that I'm missing that detail. And also the sleeves, you've got the pleats in the sleeves, and it is really hard to see, which I think is a bit of a shame. So I think overall I really liked that pattern. In a plain fabric you would see all the details that this has got. So it's a bit of a shame, but it is a very pretty seasonal top anyway. So it had neck facings. I'm not a massive fan of them, but I did put them in, understitch them well so they would fall to the right side. I didn't do the cuffs. This one actually here had a cuff, and I think in the video as we go along you'll see that I changed my mind on that, and I've just put a bit of elastic on the bottom. The arms were going to be way too long for me, so because I'm only about 5'2", these are drafted for much taller shapes, so in the end I decided just to put a bit of elastic around instead of the cuff. Apart from that, I didn't have much trouble at all. There is a back opening, and I didn't put a button there because I find with my long hair, my hair tends to get trapped around the button if I ever put a button. I don't know if any of you have the same issue. So I've just put a press stud, which isn't very pretty, but at the end of the day, whatever is there is hidden anyway. So all in all, I fell in love with this shape of this blouse when I first got this supplement, and I'm really pleased I made it up. It was very simple to do. You had the front, the back, the sleeves, and the top bit of the sleeves, and it all worked well. Matching it all out fine, and I drew it out fine, and the facings I just did separate. Yeah, I'm really happy with this, but however, this fabric doesn't do it justice. So I do hope you watch to the end of the video with me making it up. And I'm no Lutteloh expert. I only started doing this about a year ago. It was a system that was gifted to me by my mum, dating back to the 1970s version. And what I've done is bought some updated supplements. I've been sewing all my life, but I follow patterns, mainly the big full patterns. So really with me, my Lutteloh videos are me kind of working it out as I go along. I do hope that's helpful to some of you. I would love you to comment in the box below if you enjoyed this or like this, or even if you've made this particular design. Please join me for #FridaySews, or I'll put a playlist of some other videos at the end. Thank you again and see you soon. Bye bye. This is the top that I want to make. So I've cut out my pieces. You've got a front, a back. You've got this version has the short sleeve because I'm doing that one there, and the extension bit to make the sort of gathered bit of the sleeve, and then it tells you to cut a cuff. All my pieces are cut out, but I thought I would show you just what I've done to mark each one. So if I start with the front, this would have been the top part, which is marked as the facing. What I normally do is cut out the front and then chop off the bit that's going to be the facing. So I then get a facing piece, which I then go on to cut another piece of the fabric. So you can see where it was, and I've just chopped that area just to get that piece. If I ever wanted to do the pattern again, I just have to stick it back on. So I tailor tacked where I've got these pleats going to be on the front. So that's that one. I've cut out my interfacing pieces. Because I'm using a fabric with lurex in, for the facing, I've gone through and pulled out all the lurex. I might have to do that on other pieces as well. Let's see how it goes. On the back piece, it's obviously open to about that point there, so I've tailor tacked that. I marked that on the pattern because it actually told me 20 centimetres down. That will be the opening on the back. So on that piece, nothing with the sleeve, that doesn't need anything. So the piece for the sleeve has got all these pleats here. So what I've done is I've tailor tacked. I've done two different colours, so the red goes to the yellow, red to the yellow, red to the yellow. So I know which direction that all the pleats have got to go. So that was that. It doesn't really say that, but now whether I change that and do some going to the centre, some that way, I'm just going to see how it goes. The bottom needs gathering, so that's what that wiggly line along there is, if you can see it. But other than that, those are my pieces ready to start sewing. So I've now got to start, I think about the order I want to sew it in. First things first, I'm going to do what you would normally always do, and that is prepare the front. So I've got a dart to put in, so I've tailor tacked the points of the dart. I'm going to put that in, check the measurement on that, and then I'm going to do the pleats on the front, and then that will be my front piece completed. So I've made the pleat in the front, and I've made the two darts. You can't see them in this fabric, but they are there, I promise. One thing I forgot to say was the first thing I did actually was stitch the neck edging on the to the centre, and I did the same on the back pieces. Now I'm going to put that aside and move on to the back pieces, where I'm going to join the back seam together from the mark all the way down to the end. I joined the shoulder seams together, so it's beginning to look a bit more like it. I'm just looking at the facings actually, because there were pleats on the front of the facing. Of course, my front facing is going to be too big. So I've just pinned it just to make sure, and yeah, sure enough, it needs a couple of inches off either side. No, probably about an inch off either side. Back facing obviously is fine. So I'm just going to trim that off, and then I'm going to join the facings together and then sew the facings to the neckline. So I joined the facing pieces, interfaced it, joined the facing pieces, I've attached them to the neckline. I've sewn down that line there so I can, this is all trimmed, I can turn it inside, and then I've got that nice edging there on the back enclosure. So yeah, I'm going to trim all this. I'm going to clip into the curves, turn it under. I will understitch it, so hopefully it will flip through to the other side. I am not a massive fan of facings, I will admit, but I will put them down as much as I can, sew them down as much as I can. But yeah, so that will be that finished when I'm done. I've then got to tackle the sleeves, and that's the bit I'm dreading. I've worked out that I'm going to have to put an ease stitch in the sleeve cap, so that's fine. I'll do that in a minute. What I did, I've just kind of ironed the pleats in as marked. Don't quite know how they're falling, whether they're going that way, or they're inverted. I've no idea yet. I think I'm doing them the wrong way at the moment. This is the front. But what I am pleased about is obviously all my drawings were correct, because when I do pull in the pleats, it actually measures exactly the same to the sleeve. So I give myself a gold star for that one. So what have I done now? I created all those pleats and I've attached it to the top of the sleeve. And I actually quite like the look of that. This other one, I've actually sewed the side seam down because I wanted to try it on to see how balloon out it goes, but actually it's not, doesn't balloon out at all. I was congratulating myself on the width of this, and yet the sleeves, I don't know if you can see that, but the sleeves didn't match up at the bottom. So the length of there, I did something wrong on that bit, but never mind, we can always trim that off. So I've put some ease stitches in there. I'm going to sew that side seam up. I'm then going to sew the side seams on the actual top, join the front and back together at these side seams, and then attach these little beauties. It's really coming together now. I've just put it on the mannequin so I can show you. I've tried it on and I felt this was too wide, so I brought it in by 2 centimetres each side, just under an inch. This bit fits fine. It comes up quite high on me, I will admit, and it needs some kind of thing there. It's not tight, but it is quite closely fitting. I can see I've also got a few more bits of this gold stuff that I'm going to have to remove as well, just on the neckline. So we've got the sleeves in and we got this ballooned effect. So it's going to have to be gathered, which is fine. The sleeve cuff piece is that. So, I mean, obviously that's folded in half and we'll put the gathered piece in there. But that's actually quite narrow there's no sort of button, it doesn't overlap or anything. I mean, I suppose I could do that. But if not, I can get it on my wrist, but it could be a bit of a squeeze. I'd rather not go down the route of doing a buttonhole and everything like that, but don't know. Not sure what to do there because it's got no opening on here. I'm going to see if I can gather this, put it into this, fold it over and see what we can do. I'm not sure. So this is the sleeve with very roughly tacked on with the sleeve band. And as you can see, that sleeve is actually too long on me. I'm not entirely sure I like the sleeve band. So what I've done very quickly is, because this has gone too far now because I've gathered it and half put it into the band, it's just too much to take out. So what I did is I forgot the sleeve band and I've just done a casing and just put a bit of elastic through it. And I think because I've got less length, it kind of looks a bit better. So I think I'm going to cheat, forget the sleeve band, because I really don't like that, and just go with a gathered sleeve because I think it's easier. Okay, I'm happy with both those sleeves now. I think that looks a bit better than it was all bulked up over my wrist. Now I've just got to decide the length of this, because obviously this is way too long on me. So I need to decide where I'm going to bring it up. It might be that I would wear it sort of tucked in, anyway, but yeah, this needs to be a bit shorter on me. So this is the bit in a garment which takes me the longest, actually, deciding how long or short something has to be.